We are starting with some guests in the studio from the Guam Regional Medical City. Let's welcome Melliza Young, and from the Department of Public Health and Social Services, Patrick Luces, for some free workshops for a lot of people out there. Half a day, guys.
Half a day.
So let's get into it. That's 6 week of opportunities for people to attend free workshops. It's called Living a Healthy Life with Chronic Conditions. I automatically am thinking of, how the prevalence of like high blood pressure and diabetes, lupus, and other chronic conditions that face patients here on Guam. Is there a particular type of patient or someone suffering from a particular disease or condition that you want to come here, or who should attend the workshops is what I'm trying to ask.
First of all, the workshop is actually open to the general public.
Okay.
In our community, and what we've seen at the department, what we see in the department is that many of our community members have these diseases, and we know that the top leading are heart disease, cancer, stroke, and diabetes, and so a lot of these diseases really is a matter of just taking control and managing your disease, and so that's what this program here has to offer. So it's really open up. It's actually open to the community, those with chronic diseases.
Okay, so Lisa, if we're talking about a whole wide range of people with conditions and diseases, what type of information is going to, because I think there's a lot of things that people think are disease or condition specific. Are we talking about strategies and things to do that really will benefit everyone involved?
What the workshop is about is self-management of chronic conditions. And again, if I may add to what Patrick had said, so chronic condition is any health condition that lasts more than 3 months.
Okay.
So it's not like when you have like a fracture.
Yeah, not something that you get treated and it gets better.
Yes,
okay.
that's right. And so that's why we're talking about like all different kinds of conditions that last more than 3 months. And you mentioned about it, like diabetes, lupus, high blood pressure, even patients with stroke or depression.
Yeah.
So they can all, take advantage of this free workshop that Public Health and GRMC offers. And so again, what we're offering here is to help them self-manage their condition, to help them become more motivating and be able to enjoy a healthier life, so that they can take better control of their health, and at the same time they can do more things than what they think that they can only do. I
know that the workshop is 2.5 hours, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot that we can't cover in the short time that we have, but let's talk about self-management. What is it, and when people do it well, what are sort of the characteristics of making sure that you're really up on the up and up for self-management?
There are actually 3 major skills that underlay self-management.
Okay.
So what we're going to help them is how to do action planning, problem solving, and decision making. So they will be learning these skills throughout that 6-week workshop. And what we're going to do is that our job is not to motivate them, but to be motivating. And so we do this systematically by using strategies throughout the workshop that's proven to enhance people's confidence in their ability to manage their chronic condition. Okay.
Now, decision making, I mean that these are sort of like very broad-based skills, because I can understand, if you're a diabetic and you have to make daily decisions about exercise, daily decisions about diet, daily decisions, same thing if you are under depression, your daily decisions about, getting out of bed, I guess I appreciate that there's sort of a broad sense that applies to everyone, but is there a specific mindset that is the key? Because I think, if everyone's decision is different depending on what the condition is, there must be some sort of trick that applies to everyone involved, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And for that very reason, what we're going to do in the workshop is that we will never tell people what to do, but rather support them in what they choose to do.
Okay. So this isn't a lecture. It's not a 2.5-hour
No.
lecture.
No,
Okay,
no.
I think that's always good. Not
Yeah.
knowing that
Yeah.
people know that they're not. It's not going to be something that they're going to have to go and like.
Mhm.
Okay, A, B, C. Let me remember the 17 things I was told to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then our mantra actually for this workshop is that go for the real, not the ideal.
Huh. Now I love that because first of all, if you do have a chronic medical condition, obviously you don't have the ideal. And so I guess managing expectations, right, is sort of the thing, and coming to be like settle in a happy place with what you can do, and not necessarily what shooting for the stars 100% in a perfect world situation is. That can be a little difficult to try to get into that mindset, right? I mean, we are sort of wired to want the best and brightest in a perfect scenario. What's a strategy to sort of get someone conditioned to shoot for the real, not the ideal?
Well, the workshop is designed to do 4 specific things. One is skills mastery. So we do a lot of action planning and giving them feedback throughout those 6-week sessions. And then another thing we do is modeling, because people do better when taught by people like themselves. So that's why we encourage people with chronic conditions and even caregiver of those people with chronic conditions. And so that they will see that self-management is possible, which increases their belief in their own ability to manage. And then the third thing that we do in the workshop is we help people to reinterpret their symptoms, because sometimes people act based on what they believe about their illness. Therefore, by helping people change or expand their beliefs about the causes of their symptoms, they can begin to try new things to help relieve their symptoms or resolve their problems.
How good usually on Guam are people who have chronic conditions with continual care? Because I don't know if it might be a bad stereotype that people aren't as in touch with a doctor as maybe they should be, and so I'm wondering, you're talking about making sure you understand your symptoms, about what is actual not what you think but what is actually, and I think professional medical diagnosis and medical advice is always going to be important, but if are people taking advantage or trying to access that as much as they should on Guam?
Many of our clients actually, those that actually work closely with the physicians are the ones that are very successful.
Okay.
And then those.
So it is key that continual contact with the physician.
Correct. And then the more that you do more education about your disease and how to manage it, many do their own research online and that kind of thing. So those are the ones that are very successful, and the more you know, the better it is for you. And so one of this class also is not to replace whatever you have, but actually to enhance what you're going through your management.
We're talking about a workshop put on by the Department of Public Health and the Guam Regional Medical City called Living a Healthy Life with Chronic Conditions. It's not a one-off thing. It's happening for actually 6 weeks in 2 different locations. So let's talk about how people can attend the workshop, pre-registration, where to go, all of that good stuff, guys.
So we're going to have actually 2 classes before the end of the year. Our first class actually starts on October 13th, and it ends on November 17th. It's a once a day or once a week session, and we meet for about 2.5 hours. So our first session will actually begin at the Guam Regional Medical City. That begins on October 13. Our second one starts on October 15, and this will be at the Southern Community Health Clinic. So our class for the October 13 at GRMC is already full. We do have open slots for the one at Southern Community Health Clinic, and for any of the, if you are interested in attending this class, you can actually give myself or Melliza a call, and we do have our third partner here is Leanne Munoz. She's with the Public Health Community Health Clinic, and you can reach her as well. So the contact number for myself is 735-7295, and for Melliza it's
645-5688.
Okay, so I'm sure you can call Public Health or GRMC,
yes.
Let them know that you want to start attending these workshops, and they'll transfer you over, point you in the right direction, all that good stuff. It is a 6-week course. you don't necessarily have to attend all of the courses, but I see here that in order to make sure that you note that it's full completion, you do have to attend 4 out of 6. Is that what it is?
Yes, at least 4 out of the 6.
Okay.
And as much as possible, we want them to attend the first 2 workshops because that's where we're developing these like strategies, that they're going to use throughout the rest of the
sort of like the 100 level course is the first 2 weeks, and in order to advance up, you sort of got to know the basics. Okay, let me, before I let you guys go, if you could just put on your headphones, and then that silver knob on the panel in front of you will adjust the volume in case things are a little too low, a little too high, because I have Augie on the line. He's a regular caller, and he has a couple of questions. Howdy, Augie. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, how you doing? Phil, let me turn the stream off here so I can...
Oh, yeah, the web stream's going to be like a whole, 2 minutes behind.
I can hear better.
Okay.
I don't really want to get involved in the conversation, but I wonder if you can, as the host, be so kind as to introduce the subject and have them talk about cannabinoid medicine and physician statements.
Okay, well, again, this is I don't know if this is their wheelhouse. They have a couple of...
we just want to direct the conversation, see what our medical community thinks about it.
Augie, I appreciate that you're pushing this very aggressively, but neither of my guests are medical doctors, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and
I was under... I'm sorry.
No, they're coordinating this program in partnership with each other. So
then I asked them to bring the subject up to the persons in their wheelhouse, so we can move this situation forward a little bit more smoothly.
Okay.
All right, I'll call you later.
Thanks, Augie. Yeah, so we'll talk about it. I think there's a more appropriate time. If you aren't familiar, he's a medical cannabis advocate, and he just wants to make sure that the entire health segment of our island is supportive of this. And like I said, I'm not going to ask you guys about anything because I know that I don't want you to get out of in another lane. But anyway, that's Augie's point, is he just wants to make sure that GRMC and the Department of Public Health is supportive of the policy. Yeah, someone's saying he just heard the word chronic and decided to call in. 10:45 in the morning. Again, let's talk about how to enroll in Living a Healthy Life with Chronic Conditions, a 6-week workshop that's going to help people with diabetes, people with lupus, people with high blood pressure, any condition, depression even, any condition that you are facing that doesn't go away. You can't just take a pill and magically it's better, or you can't just go into surgery and automatically it's gone. If you have a condition that you live with, this is going to give you some strategies, some really... I just want to say I think the mindset shifting that you guys are sort of hinting at, that's part of this workshop, is going to be great, especially for someone battling depression, especially for someone that has to deal with this for the rest of their lives. I think it's going to be great. So again, 6 weeks. You can call GRMC at
645-5688
or Public Health
735-7295.
The very first available workshop, because the first one is fully booked, is October 15th at the Southern Regional Community Health Center. That's all the way in beautiful Inarahan, 9 to 11:30. All of these workshops are 2.5 hours, and you get a certificate of completion at the end of the 6 weeks. Let me bring in another caller, hopefully with a relevant question for our guests. Hafide Marie.
Hi, Phil. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question to ask. On this workshop, is there any subject that's covering on the senior citizens and dementia?
Okay. Again, we're not getting into condition-specific stuff here, right?
Yeah, we're not getting into anything, any condition specific.
Right. So this is more of like overarching, decisions, strategies, and mindset shifting here. But Marie, I think for senior citizens, dementia, I'm sure there's a program over at Public Health that helps with our Manumco. There's quite a few programs actually at Public Health that help with that, right?
We do have programs there, but we'll need to check for dementia specific. But
okay.
Give me a call, and then we'll go ahead and point you at the right direction.
Okay, so Marie, if you can get a pen and paper handy, I'm going to ask Patrick to give out his number one more time.
That's 735-7295.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you,
Yes,
Marie.
and again, I can understand that if we were if this was going to get into the nitty gritty of every single chronic disease and condition that is facing the patients of our island, it's probably going to have to be a year-long course. It probably wouldn't be the most efficient or effective thing for the patients out there. So again, just managing expectations. What we're talking about here is overall strategies, right? That can help everyone.
Yes.
Yes, everyone with chronic disease.
Okay. Yeah, everyone with a chronic disease or condition can be helped with this 6-week workshop, Living a Healthy Life with Chronic Conditions After All, healthy eating, exercise, managing fear, anger, frustration, helping making your daily tasks easier, helping to work with your healthcare team, managing your symptoms, problem solving, and taking action. Again, those sort of broad strokes and helpful in that way to people living with these conditions is what's going to be focused on in the upcoming workshop. Again, the first available one, October 15th at the Southern Regional Community Health Center from 9 to 11:30. 6 weeks worth of classes available, though, in case you can't make that first week. Thank you so much, Melliza and Patrick. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil.
And thanks to Kevin for setting this up.